Epstein rabbit
That's
hole.
the guy.
Pay close attention. Jeffrey Epstein was on the board of directors for an organization called the Lifeboat Foundation. The Lifeboat Foundation builds giant underground cities, okay? They openly advertise it, and for a fee and with an application letter, they might accept you to join their little society. Also advertise would take the clients off-world in the event of a catastrophe. It's all really weird, right? It gets even more interesting. You see, Donald Barr was the one who inducted Jeffrey Epstein with zero experience into the Dalton Institute, where he was a teacher. Donald Barr wrote a really interesting book called Relations in Space about an aristocratic elite trafficking children into space. Are you following me here? What's even weirder is the district attorney that was supposed to prosecute Jeffrey Epstein and bring him to justice was literally William Barr, Donald Barr's son. Now, the Lifeboat Foundation is really interesting because in 1996, they pioneered wireless money transfers. They are the second organization in the world to ever do this. This is a decade or two before Bitcoin even was a concept, right? So you got an organization that is doing wireless money transfers that are untraceable, large sums of money, and they're building giant underground infrastructures.
The underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system that's been built. And
I'm sorry?
Yes. So we have built an extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems. Some of these are documented as part of the national security infrastructure. I think there are many more.
In the United States?
In the United States, on all over the world. From 2021 to 2023, I took one of the smartest subscribers in the Slayer Report network, and he and I spent 2 years collecting all the data and all the allegations on underground bases. We systematically went through and tried to estimate our guess, this is totally a guess, of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States but also underground under the ocean around the United States. And our estimate was 170 with a transportation network connecting them.
And what would be the purpose?
If you thought you were going to get a near extinction event.
Man, near extinction event is almost an understatement. They're preparing for this stuff like they can foresee it or they can ensue a state of emergency event. Man, I got a personal friend right now and I'm finna play Mr. G. He's gonna tell us when he went to Mexico or Honduras, how they had cities underground. You think I'm lying? Check this out.
We was in Copan, it's called, in Honduras. Anyone can Google it or go out there themselves. We was in the city. The tour guide told us, oh, this is the top city, it's 3 more cities under us. And we was like, what you talking about? So he opened up this gate, we went in, and we went down to a whole nother city that was under that city. Whew. So when we get to the second floor, he said, the second city, he said, it's another one. We went to the third city. These are cities on top of cities in Copan, Honduras. He said it's 2 more under, but I'm thinking about oxygen, and I'm like, look, I'm getting claustrophobic. I'm ready to get upstairs. So I said, we got to head up. But we going down. It's just like right now, we in Brooklyn, so we see Macon Avenue. You see Macon, or you go under, you see a whole different. It's not even a clone of it. It's a whole different complete city. It was 4 cities on top of each other.
Wow, man.
Never seen nothing like that.
What?
Now take that info and do what you please. Now, I know Mr. G, and I don't think he has anything to lie about. This is just one out of many stories we hear of people saying that they have underground cities. This is just someone that I personally know, so it makes it a little different for me. Yeah, I've been hearing about this in tunnels, underground cities, Shambhala, Agrata, the North Pole being a opening for the inner Earth. We see videos of crafts and ships going into the water. We cannot be gullible or small-minded and think that we are the only people on the planet.
So when they initially went into Little St. James Island. All of these ROMs existed. And if you look at the name on there, it says Clinton Nudes. That is an actual picture of what was taken from the island. But when they left the island, because they weren't specific in their warrant, they couldn't take these things. So they took pictures of them. And then they requested that Epstein and his attorneys send that stuff in. What's the chances that that shit happened?
Very low.
Right.
So Jeffrey Epstein's chef that was on the island, when he left the island, started his own restaurant where he was selling human meat.
Did you all see the plate that they were eating from when they showed a picture of Jeffrey Epstein? It looked like an entire human on a platter.
That's the chef. That's the chef that made that.
Did you see that?
Yes, he was making. He's a cannibalist chef.
It was a human.
He's a cannibalist chef, and it's not hidden. You can find this that he cooks people.
City goes to Francis Derby.
Which brings me to Francis Derby. For those who don't know who Francis Derby is again an individual and listed in the document he's talked about right here. Hi, ladies. Francis will be at 71st around 3 p.m. if you'd like to learn how to make beef jerky.
The chef they have at the island who prepares the food in the laboratory and mails it around the world to world leaders owns a restaurant called The Cannibal. And then they say, yeah, I'm walking up with the jerky. I'm walking up with
Cannibal in New York City. Chef Francis Derby is particularly known for fabulous nose-to-tail cooking and expert butchery.
And it's well known and documented. His restaurant closed down, and then after that, he was on, I believe, QVC or one of the networks where he was trying to pitch to people the meat that he was cooking. And it was still human flesh and trying to tell everybody.
Where's he at now? Anybody
I think he's in like California.
Oh, he walking the street.
Yeah. Yeah, he's out. He's not arrested.
Why do y'all think we have not seen the amount of public outrage that we thought we was going to see when it comes to the Epstein files?
Man, when it comes to the
Jeff Epstein
files, man, I told y'all in my first couple videos, these chef movies that they trying to low-key allude to in these movies. They always put it in the movies. They're always teaching us through the movies. Inundating.
Who does that look like? Remember Jessica Collins and her dead man switch video that I reposted? She had filed a lawsuit against the United States government that was set for jury trial in January 2025, and she filed the exhibits for the lawsuit. All these things are public. You can look at the filing yourself, the numbers at the top there. She claimed that she was trafficked and that her daughter was also trafficked, and she included what she alleged were pictures of her daughter and this guy. Her daughter and this guy. That's why in her video, she claims she was trafficked to people in the blank house. The word starts with a W, ends with an E. Jessica Collins went missing about 8 months after those exhibits were filed with the court. The story is she disembarked a Carnival cruise ship in Bonaire, and as she was disembarking, she said to the cruise staff that she didn't want to be located. And then apparently, a week later, she was detained by immigration in Bonaire, and they confirmed that she was alive and well. But there's no reports of her since.
And here's the video.
That is allegedly that woman's daughter.
So she, lesbian shows you how, whatever that was. And here's the video.
That is allegedly that woman's daughter.
So she, lesbian shows you how, whatever that was, points out.
So that's why Biden took off because he knew that a files was coming out, so he had to fake his death. I see. Makes perfect sense. I don't know what to say, y'all. Just leave some comments or something so I know I'm not alone.
In this runway show you're about to watch goes very deep and it may make you uncomfortable. This is by far the most controversial runway show in Paris Fashion Week this year, and just pay very close attention to every single thing that they're wearing, the things in their eyes, on their mouth, on their feet, on their hands. This video we're about to watch is going to break down every single thing that they're wearing. This show is called The 1%.
It's just that, the call out of the 1%. The first part is introduction to a bourgeois family. You meet the mothers, fathers, daughters of the family. A lot of them wearing white gloves with red palms titled guilt gloves, symbolizing that there's blood on their hands. Some characters even choking on the accessories symbolizing the greed. Wearing shirts saying I love power and literally being blinded with money. Instead of handcuffs, their hands are tied with pearl necklaces. Their pursuit of beauty and youth being one thing that they can never attain. The second part represents the power of community. This is also a call out of the 1%. It also is a reference how the Métier Fécal team has been referred to since their last debut in Paris. They're constantly called a cult, which can be easily said about 1%. Also, the last part is the power of the future, where Hannah shows up in albino python cocoon skirt, the heelless skin boot morphing into her leg, showing that the 1% have access to tools of life that most of us don't. Michelle Ami walks the show as a representation of bracing the natural beauty of aging and no need to play pretend. This fashion show is a commentary on society that we live in. This is what fashion does the most. Provoke. The collection might leave you uncomfortable, but the question is, doesn't society already make you feel?
The fashion show just makes me feel like I just got out of a demonic ritual. Now I think a lot of these people get their inspiration from like Lee Bowery, who went on stage, took an enema, and took a crap on the front row of the guests at his fashion show. So I'm sure that might eventually, stuff like that will eventually happen soon, but this is where they get their inspiration from. I'll show him in a second.
Is hip hop misunderstanding her?
Who, Michelle Lemmy? I can't justify the dark shit and weird shit she do. I think she her. I don't think they misunderstanding it. Like, do she worship the devil? I wouldn't know because she don't do none of that shit around me. But they do have iconography and imagery that looks like it's very, you know,
like their the new ad campaign joint with the kissing.
But they gay. Rick Owens gay.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just a gay thing. It's the imagery.
It's dark, bro. I can't justify that shit.
It'd be a lot, bro.
Look, I can't justify that shit. But yo, bro, we talking about gay Europeans. Like, we won't understand that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's them.
In my opinion, an alien invasion on Earth would be less terrifying than attending a Rick Owens fashion show. These are some of the attendees, but the models are just as scary. What is going on? Like, what is always going on at Rick Owens? I just don't understand how, like, this is fashion. It doesn't resonate with me. And let us not forget the models who took a bit of inspiration from Alien versus Predator, the movie, who had these weird, I don't even know what this is, draped in front of their face. There was a bunch of them that went down the runway in all different colors, terrifying looking. Like, I actually think as a celebrity, attending a Rick Owens fashion show is a humiliation ritual. It has to be. Who is willingly, what person with money and fame is willingly getting out of bed to wear a ridiculous outfit like this and be photographed at a fashion show? Like, this has to be one of like the Illuminati rituals to like get you initiated. Let's just revisit this one for a second, because you cannot tell me that people are dressing like this willingly. You cannot convince me. You truly can't convince me. It's insanity. And of course we have Michelle Lamy looking terrifying as usual. The only person in attendance who looked decent and normal was Usher. Thank goodness for Usher, because without him, it was just an alien convention.
All this money, all this influence, and this is what you choose to portray and show to everybody. You got it. This is the Lee Bowery that I think they get all their inspiration from. Anyways, that's all I got for today, y'all. Que tengan un buen día. I'ma see y'all on the next one.